for me specifically, I would say, honestly, I totally in so many ways contribute how amazing I felt during my pregnancy to the work that I did with you. And I felt great. I had literally no aches and pains in the back, in the hips, as I was growing. I was very active. I was able to continue with my physical activity and stay strong because I think that I was taking care of my alignment. It was taking care of my body as I was growing. And that also ultimately led me to have the birth that I wanted. And for me personally, that's been absolutely huge. I've said, if I ever don't live in the city and I get pregnant again, I'm going to have to drive into the city to come because I'm I don't know if I can do it again without you.
Can you describe what you were experiencing before you started getting care with us?
So I actually personally wasn't really experiencing any specific issues when you would think traditionally of a chiropractor, but I got pregnant with my second child and I really wanted to go for a VBAC or delivery with my child, and knew that chiropractic care was going to be the perfect way to keep my body healthy during pregnancy, but more so just set me up for a successful delivery of my son. And so I originally signed up for my chiropractic care with Dr. Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. And how confident were you that you could have that VBAC or that experience that you were looking for?
I felt deep down in my gut, I felt very confident, but I was also very skeptical. I was I don't know, this might be a pipe dream. I really didn't know. It felt so far away. And it also felt I didn't feel confident that I was set up properly, at least at the time when I first came to see you. Didn't feel that I was set up properly to have that. I knew I had a lot of work to do, or felt like I did. But when I came to see you and saw you in your office for the first time, you from the first moment gave me a lot of confidence though too. You're oh no, we can do this. So that was great.
That's awesome. And so when you thought about trying for the VBAC, where were you getting your information or doing your research to figure out how you could, be working towards that?
Yeah. So I just from some random research and Googling sources like the VBAC link, or I had been talking with, I'd hired a doula who one of her first recommendations was chiropractic care. And I knew some friends who went to your practice also that had been speaking highly of just your care for pregnancy. And I actually live around the corner. So I was always very interested and intrigued. So there were a lot of contributing factors to pointing me your way to say that I needed to be working with you for a successful VBAC.
Yeah. And so your case was a little bit unique in terms of why people seek out chiropractic care, right? And so you also got the family started. And so what were you dealing with that made you want to get started with your little one and with your husband before you got started?
Yeah. So it was one of those things that you start and you think you start for one reason, but then you start to see that it works really well for other reasons. And you are kind of your eyes open to actually why you're there and why you're feeling good in the first place. So, right. So I started for just let's make sure my pelvic area, that my pelvis is aligned to be able to deliver a baby. But then it went into I didn't have any pregnancy pain, and I didn't have back pain, and I didn't have hip pain. And I was feeling very good and aligned in my pregnancy. And then I had talked to I knew you worked with children, and I would see all the posters all over your office about for immune system and for breathing and for nervous system and for everything for the kids. And my toddler at the time, and still a toddler, but is in daycare and is exposed to tons and tons of germs all the time, as well as a lot of stimulation. And so I wanted to bring my daughter in to just start getting some proactive care. It wasn't one simple or certain issue that I saw with her. It was more a entire wellness contribute, to helping her with overall wellness. So that's why I started bringing my daughter in. So then it was just the two of us coming in, and I started seeing that her digestion issues were improving. She was more regular and feeling better in that sense. I sensed that she just had a better mood regulation when we would go to Dr. Tom versus when we wouldn't go to Dr. Tom. And then I'm always going to believe in it for just good immune system care, because I would say she's generally finding things more than I would expect that she should at her age. So that was all good. And then I started talking about these positive aspects of the care to my husband. And I'm like, you should just try it. Just come try it. He's had back pain for 10 years and is always randomly throwing out his lower back. And so we got him over to Dr. Tom and got him practicing with him too. And then all of a sudden he wasn't having back pain anymore. So it was those things that like consistency is key, where we weren't just dropping in like once every few weeks. We were dropping in a couple times a week and really getting that like everything corrected in the right way and our bodies used to the treatment, which then really showed like positive effects on all ends, from health, from nervous system, from alignment and joint and pain and everything. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing those positive changes that you saw after starting care with us. You kind of mentioned, you know, you noticing changes also when you don't come in versus when you do come in. Can you reiterate that a little bit on what do you notice when we become a little bit complacent with our care? And then when you get back on track, what did you notice there for positive results?
yeah, if I don't the word, it's like I can feel when we haven't when we've gotten a little like off of the consistent care. I feel like maybe a little, I don't want to just say in general like out of alignment, but maybe a little sticky and a little like I don't know, like just and I can notice that just like the just the way that my body feels and the way that like it functions, and that I just feel a little stale, maybe kind of, and it always kind of gives me just a little bit of like pop back into regulation and just feeling better walking out the door. And like I again with the kids especially too, like I, with their digestive system and with their immunity and things like that, I certainly notice a positive, which then positively affects how they act, and how they sleep and everything. And so I notice when we go versus when we don't go that things just function a little better from a body and from a mood. So
How long did it take to start seeing these results and changes?
at this point, gosh, how long have I even seen you now? Like almost 2 years? I don't know how long it's been now. Probably, it was certainly consistently a month at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely saw the changes pretty quick, and it's usually around that 1 month mark, 2 month mark where somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I've been feeling different. There's something unique here," and it's hard to sometimes place it. But yeah, that's where you definitely like, "Oh yeah, totally feel different."
Yes, yeah. It's like it's hard to place it, but then when you remove it, you're like, "Ugh, God, I just don't feel great." Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I commonly get people say like, "I don't know if this is changing or improving. It's kind of a coincidence, but and it's like, well, your body's changing. It's just we just need to understand that it takes time and it's hard to understand it completely, but it's definitely improving one step at a time. And so if you had to tell someone the best thing that has happened since being under care, what would you say that was?
So for me specifically, I would say that honestly, I totally, in so many ways, contribute how amazing I felt during my pregnancy to the work that I did with you. And I mean, was so I felt great. I felt I had literally no aches and pains in the back, in the hips, as I was growing. I was very active. I was able to continue with my like physical activity and stay strong because I think that I was like taking care of my alignment. It was taking care of my body as I was growing. And that also ultimately led me to have the birth that I wanted. And so that would be where I saw like the most notable change. And then honestly, I was already hooked from there. So then like coming out of pregnancy and into postpartum, I mean, my body is changing again and trying to go back to a new normal or whatnot. And so just making sure that I'm staying aligned and taking care of the way that my body functions has been really helpful in recovery. So for me personally, that's been like absolutely huge. I said, if I ever don't live in the city and I get pregnant again, I'm going to have to drive into the city to come because I'm like, I don't know if I can do it again without you.
I know we definitely, have people that drive quite a ways to come into the office to get their adjustments. And then sometimes we get lucky and find a great referral for you outside of the office as well. Cause I mean, my main hope is that you get the care no matter what, even if that's not in my office, because, I want what's best for you. And so now that we've talked about all the positive results that you've seen in the office with your family, how would you describe the experience with working with us?
Oh, um, Great. I would say the experience is great because it doesn't feel like going to a doctor, or it doesn't feel formal. I mean, you clearly run a formal business, but it doesn't, it's so welcoming. I mean, I think that we're like some of your most obnoxious patients, and we like open the door, like my family barges in and runs in and can't wait to like get on the table and use the bathroom and play with the toys and all this stuff. And like you allow that energy and that comfortable, that feeling of comfort in your space. And I think that's been great. And, I feel also when any of us come in with an ailment or an issue, whether it's with like our body or with the way we're feeling or something with like, I don't know, you always like are lending advice or an opinion, and and we love that. And it's good. It feels, I mean, I even pick up my daughter from school, which is right there. And if your lights aren't on in your office, she will be like, "Where's Dr. Tom?" I mean, so it's been great.
Awesome. And were there any specific moments or aspects of our service that really stood out to you?
I can't think of anything specific because really, I mean, it's all been good and comfortable and like a unique. And I really, I mean, moments I would say just like, yeah, how comfortable everybody feels there is truly very special. And for me, I guess from an actual physical like moment or uniqueness, I just remember like anytime I did have any sort of pain or uncomfortable feeling in my pregnancy, I literally like counted down the moments until I was able to go on Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday and be able to come see you. And like I would walk out of there being like, oh, thank God, like that feels so much better.
Awesome. And to wrap it all up, what would you say to another person who is in a similar position to you and that your family was in, and they're trying to decide if they want to try chiropractic care?
Oh, I say absolutely. I have done that exact thing and recommended people your way for. I just think it's like every time I hear a friend expressing concern or woes or something about something that their kid is going through, whether it be a health thing or a personality or an emotional thing or anything like that, I'm always like, you have to try this. It's so good for everything. And I would absolutely recommend anybody is trying it out and sticking with it and doing it consistently to see the positive benefits, and not to consider it as just like a nice to have, but as something that's like a part of the care that you have for like yourself and your family.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Thank you so much for sharing that. It is definitely something where we help people when they're struggling, but then also continue to support them through wellness so that they
Mhm.
not only continue to improve, but adapt to the world around
Yeah.
them and the life stressors that come their way. And thank you for trusting me with your family's care.